From the moment you hear the now infamous John Williams score and see the logo appear on the screen, you'll immediately be sucked into LucasArts' newest title in the Star Wars saga, The Force Unleashed. The game is not without some flaws and minor gripes, but for fans of the saga, this story is one of the most compelling to date. The game's plotline does an excellent job in bridging the gap between episodes 3 and 4. In other words, what took place after the Clone Wars, but before Luke began his quest in becoming a Jedi and taking down the Empire. In my opinion, this story alone should have been the last live-action film. The storyline is that good. There are too many twists and turns in your 8 to 10 hour adventure to spoil for you, so we won't go too deep into the story details, but suffice to say, you won't be disappointed. This game is all about playing as Darth Vader's secret apprentice, but not before you run through a quick tutorial as Vader himself, which is actually one of the funnest parts of the game. Here you'll learn how to use and manipulate your force powers by taking out Chewbacca's brothers-in-arms on the planet Kashyyyk. From there, the story unfolds as Vader's dark disciple is sent on a mission to destroy all the remaining Jedi. But enough about the story. As the developers promised, this game instantly allows you to wield some key force powers like choking, force pushes, and the ability to pick up and throw objects using your inner dark side. There's also no shortage of lightsaber battles with some deadly combos you will be able to upgrade to as your training progresses. But hacking and slashing will also work just as well. The fun really comes from using your unleashed powers in creative ways to take out your enemies, whether that be breaking open a window and getting stormtroopers sucked out, or hurling explosive barrels at AT-STs. And you know, just picking up a stormtrooper and hurling them across the beautifully rendered landscape, it just never gets old. In some of the battles, the game will switch to a quick button attack style, and upon successful completion of the sequence, you're treated to a nice scene in which you finish off the enemy. You'll come across several boss battles where keeping the attacks coming and keeping on the move is crucial. Where the game does stumble a bit is in some of the forced gameplay mechanics. For instance, as an evil dark apprentice, you are given the powers as strong as any master Jedi or Sith Lord, but it just so happens that certain enemies have developed shields or other ways to counteract any force attacks. I get that this is an attempt to balance out the gameplay, but it really derails any sense of having these force powers unleashed. One other minor gripe is with the camera. You're on your own on this one, and the developers could have certainly spent a little more time on this, especially on one pivotal battle at the end of the game where the camera pulls out so wide you can't tell who's who or where you are. These are not enough to keep you from enjoying the game, but just enough to keep the game from getting a higher score. The game is a visual treat, and the locales and appearances of known characters from the Star Wars universe will have fans as excited as Luke shooting down his first TIE fighter in the Millennium Falcon. The game's physics engine demonstrates some great ragdoll physics and real momentum from hurled objects, but the frame rate does dip here and there during some heated battles. The game is available on all three consoles, with the PS3 and the 360 versions playing identical, but Wii owners will get a slightly different version of the game. As you would expect, the graphics, textures, and color palette are a bit flatter, and although the game follows the same plot line, the levels play out a little differently. Of course, there is the obligatory use of the Wii Remote and Nunchuck to cast your force powers and wield your lightsaber on your foes, and there is even a two-player lightsaber battle duel mode. It's still a fun game, but the experience was still better on the 360 version we played. And lastly, the one question on most gamers' minds is, do you get to bring down a Star Destroyer as seen on previous teasers and trailers? Well, we could tell you, but you wouldn't want us to spoil all the fun now, would you? The game is out now, it's rated for teen audiences, and Texas Gamer gives it a 4 out of 5 stars. For Texas Gamer, I'm Mark Adams.